Hello everyone. Welcome to another Facebook Live. This week we are featuring the Charming Duck Pond. This is week 2 of my spring and Easter treat boxes. So we're using the Charming Duck Pond bundle. Now this one is in our annual catalog, our current annual catalog, and you can get it bundled 10% off. I don't know if it's going to be in our next annual catalog. I will get to see that tomorrow. But I so hope it is. This is absolutely one of my favorite bundles. But if it is in our annual catalog, the bundle price will come off of it. So if you want this one, make sure you get it before, by the end of April, so that you can get that bundle price, because you do save 10% on that bundle. Let me show you what we're making today. This adorable little box. Now this is a no glue, no cut box. There is zero trimming on this box, and we are not going to use a lick of glue to stick it together. So that is super exciting and super cute. I am going to, bear with me for just 1 second, I'm going to pull myself up on my computer next to me. Last week we did that adorable little carrot box with the Reese's carrots, and that is on my YouTube channel if you want to catch it, the replay. Facebook is not saving videos anymore. They'll save them for 30 days, but after that they're going to be automatically deleted. So I've always put all my Facebook Lives up on my YouTube channel. But if you ever want to go back and rewatch a Facebook Live, you want to head to my YouTube channel to do that. And I think it's linked in the video description. I'm not sure, but if not, you might just head to my YouTube channel and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because you'll never miss a video there. And especially with Facebook deleting videos after 30 days. And if you want to ever, come back to this one, you can just make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, so we're gonna jump into the boxing. Now, I have made a version of this box. I've made a few of them actually. So this one I just resized for today, but I have made these boxes. I've made these a ton. They are so fun to make. And again, they're no glue. They go together pretty quickly. So let me show you what's inside and how it opens. So we have our adorable ducks on the front, and look at how much details in those ducks. I'm going to show you all that, especially these little cattails too. Those are adorable. Okay, so you just lift the lid up, and you can put another piece of DSP in here, or you can write a note. I chose not to do that, but you can absolutely do that. And then inside we have these little Mother's Springtime Buddies cookies. Okay, so let me show you the box. It is a big box. You might be able to find them in smaller packages. I don't know. This is a big box. I don't even know if it's going to fit. It is a 30 pack of these cookies. Now, my daughter loves these cookies, so I will just throw these into her little lunchtime, her lunch routines, where she packs her own lunch every morning. So I'll just throw these in the pantry for her to use. But I got these at Target. They might have them in other places. I've seen these cookies in other places too. So like maybe Walmart might have them, your grocery store, but this is a little springtime one, and there's little ducks on there. And so I was like, well, hello, I'm going to pull out my Charming Duck Pond bundle because it's my favorite. So you just fold in the inside there and fold this side in, and it all just like tucks in and holds itself together. So completely adorable. Okay. So let's get started on creating the box, and then we'll get into all those duck details in a little bit. Okay, so I'm using peach pie cardstock, and so you guys, over the weekend, Stampin' Up did their their annual convention, and so I've been looking at a lot of sneak peeks, and I've seen the new in colors from sneak peeks, and I have to say they're really starting to grow on me. The very first time I saw them, I was like, ooh, but the more that I think about them, and the more that I see them, the more I'm like, ooh, those are going to be good colors. So I'm hoping to have those for you very soon, or at least be able to show them to you very soon. But I think they're going to be really cute. So not to diverge from what we're doing, but demonstrators will get to, who didn't attend their onstage event, we'll get to see the catalog tomorrow, and then we'll start pre-ordering the following week. So we're going to have stuff in our hands very soon. Okay, so peach pie, you're going to need a piece that is 11 by 6 3/4, and we'll start on the 6 3/4 inch side. So we're going to score it 1 inch on each side. So 1 inch, and then I'm just going to turn it all the way around, and we're going to do 1 inch again. All right, now on the 11 inch side, we're going to score it at 3, 4, 7, and 8. So all easy score measurements. This is a pretty simple box to score. It's a pretty simple box to put together. Right, I'm going to put my Simply Scored away, but I am going to keep my stylus, and I'm going to grab a ruler. So we are going to make 4 diagonal score lines. Now, I hope that my camera's gonna be able to pick this up. So you have 4 squares. You have a square here. You have a square here. I don't know if it's gonna pick it up, but basically, you have 4 squares. So you have a rectangle section, square, rectangle, square, rectangle. So on all 4 of these square sections, we are going to draw a score line. So what we're going to do, and I'm going to use a pencil and draw this in so you can kind of see what we're going to do. I can go back and erase it later. So we're going to go from the point here to the point up here. So we're going to draw a diagonal line that way so that this point kind of points into the box. And I'm going to do that. I'll show you on all 4. I'll just draw these in. And my lighting. So you guys, this is the first day that I've had, oops, not that way. This is the first day that I've done a Facebook Live that it hasn't been a cloudy, cold mess. So I'm getting a lot of glare from the sun, which is great, but it's really distracting. Okay, so these are going to be our score lines, and what my little arrow indications here is that you want that point, that right angle, to be pointing toward the middle, to the inside of the box, and on the bottom is the same way. Oops, this one I did wrong. Well, hello. We want it going this way. So I hope that makes sense. You got that? So I'm going to go through and score these. This pencil is not the best, so that's okay. So I'm going to go through and score these. What you're going to do is you're just going to find that intersection there, and you're going to go up to the next point. And we're just going to score those diagonally. Just like this. All right, I'm going to do it this way. Actually, drawing the lines was actually super helpful because I don't have to think about it. But if you don't want to draw the lines, just make sure that you are headed toward those intersections and that all of your points go inward. Okay, I'm going to try to erase these real quick. I'm going to see if I find a better eraser on my pencils. I really don't have good pencils up here. I really need to restock my pencils. I might just come back and erase it later off camera, but my daughter has some good pencils. Okay, we're going to come back later. I'll erase these later, but you get the idea. So, all right, let's grab our bone folder, and we are going to do some burnishing. So just burnish on all the score lines so you know exactly what we're doing. Okay, so score lines all folded, and now we're going to go in and we're just going to kind of burnish on these little angle ones. So just kind of fold them up. Because we scored them, they should go kind of right together. Now, if you are using DSP, you probably don't even need to score it. You would just line up this score edge with, how would that work? Yeah, just go ahead and score them. My brain is, sorry guys, my brain is not fully, it's not running on all cylinders today, so we're not going to get that going today. Okay, so we have all this going. So this is going to fold up like this, and then this one will fold over like this, and it just holds itself together. Isn't that amazing? So when you open it up, you can still open it, you can lay it flat, you can store these flat. These would be great for like craft shows too, because you can have a bunch of these folded, ready to go, and then all you do at the craft show is just fold it up, just like this. So cute. Right now you can modify measurements. That's what I've done. I've made multiples of these boxes. You can modify measurements and it all just holds together all by itself. No glue, no trimming. Perfect, right? All right, so there's our box. We're going to go ahead and put some DSP on the box before we start getting to all the ducks. I'm using the Lily Pond Lane DSP. This is the DSP that coordinates with the Charming Duck bundle. So I have a piece of DSP, and I'm going to move stuff out of the way to see my measurements. So this bigger piece of DSP, this is going to go on the top of our box. And this one is 2 7/8 by 4 5/8. Let's see if it sits better this way. Closes better. There we go. If you're having trouble with them, if it kind of keeps popping up, just reverse it. That's what I just did. It was kind of popping up a little bit with this one. It wasn't sitting as flat as I wanted. It just kept popping up. So all you do is just put that one on the inside. It's the same measurements. Everything's symmetrical. So just go ahead and put that one on the inside. Okay. So 4 5/8 by 2 7/8. This one has a little, the little koi fish on the back. Isn't that cute? But we're just using this peach pie pattern. That will go right on the front here. And Okay, I have two pieces, no, I have 4 pieces that are 7/8 by 2 7/8, and these are going to go right here, right here, and right here, and right here. So I'm going to actually open this up so we can lay this flat. So 2 of these pieces are going to go on the outside here, right next to where we put our DSP. Now you do want to kind of, if it has a directional pattern like this one, you do want to make sure that you're putting them on in the directional pattern. So this one I'm going to put on this way. So your directional pattern is going to be when you fold the box like this. The directional pattern is going to be that way. So just make sure that you put each of them on in the correct way. Okay, so I am going to fold this up so we know where we're going with these. So these are going to go in those middle rectangles right here. And these are going to go on the inside in those middle rectangles. And you want to make sure that these are going right side up as well. So the bottom would be the bottom of the cardstock. And that way everything just kind of gives that cohesive look. So this one we'll put on upside down like this. So it gives it that full cohesive look. So when you're looking at it from the side, everything is going in the right direction. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Okay, so that is that. And then we have 2 pieces that are going to go on the outside, the front and back. These are longer. These are 7/8 by 4 5/8. So we're just going to stick these on the front and the back. Just like this. You can open the box flat again to put these on if you want. But we're just going to go with it. And then just make sure that these are going in the right orientation as well. I love this pattern. And this pattern of DSP is actually where we're going to do this coloring of these cattails. Aren't they cute? Okay, so I just picked those colors up exactly from that DSP. Okay, so there's our little box. We'll put our little treat in it. Let me grab a little bag. Now these bags, you do have to kind of like fold the top over just to make sure that they fit, but it's all right, they fit. And now if you don't have these cookies, you can't find these cookies, you don't want to use these cookies, this box will hold a variety of other treats. It is about 4 3/4 by 3 by 1 inch. So you can fit a whole slew of treats in this little box. Okay, I'm going to move that one out of the way. We're going to look at this one for our little ducks here. Now I've already done all the die cutting, and I've done some of the coloring too, especially with the little ducks. I mean, we have to do 3 of those, and especially with the cattails, there's a bunch of those to do as well. So I've already done some of the coloring. So let me show you all my little pieces here. Let me just kind of dump them out so we know what we have here. So I'm going to show you how to do those cattails with the one I have left, but let me show you the other ones that I've done. I've cut 4 of these, and the dies with this are really clever. So it cuts 2 of them at a time. So I only had to run that through twice to get 4 of them. Now 2 of them I did with the Pretty Peacock stem, and then we'll do 2 of them with the Granny Apple Green stem. So we have those, and so I'll show you how to get that coloring. I have 2 ducks already done, 2 little baby ducks already done, and I'll show you how to do these. They're so cute, right? So cute. And then I have 2 lily pads that I've already completed as well. These are really simple, and we'll finish up the 3rd lily pad. Or those are the little lily flowers. This is the lily pad. So we have, there's in the dies. So I cut this one, and then I cut, where's the other one? Oh no, I just cut this one, that one die. It gives me all 3. So if you want more though, you can cut this one. So, but this one die will cut all 3 of them. These 2 will be connected, which I love. So we'll do this one. We have our little duck, and okay, so our little duck pieces, our little lily pieces, and our little mom duck. Okay, so I'm gonna push these off to the side. We're gonna do these one at a time. So let's start with our little cattails. I'm gonna zoom in for all this because these are little pieces and I want you guys to be able to see them. Okay, I'm gonna grab some scratch paper first. And I'm actually going to start with the stem. So like I said, we're going to do Granny Apple Green. And we're not going to do any blending on this. I'm just going to do dark Granny Apple Green. And let me get the other tip. And I am just going to color the stems. And I like die cutting these in white. Now you could die cut these in other colors, and then maybe if you just want the cattails brown, you could just color that, you know, die cut it in green and then color the cattail brown. That'll totally work. That'll be so adorable. But I wanted to make sure that the cattails coordinated with our DSP. And so this one has Pretty Peacock and Granny Apple Green stems, and then the tops of them are Pretty in Pink and Peach Pie. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so I've colored the stems. Now on the little tips of these, the tops, I'm just going to color, you know, the tops of those, just like that. So I really just focused on what the DSP looked like for what my images were gonna be colored as. Okay, now I'm gonna grab my light Pretty in Pink and my light Peach Pie and my color lifter. So you're gonna need these 3 markers. And I'm gonna start with my Pretty in Pink, and I'm just gonna do about halfway up with my Pretty in Pink. And then I'm going to go in with my Peach Pie, and we'll just go all the way to the top, go the other half. And then I'm gonna take my color lifter and just swipe it like once on over each one. And that'll just kind of blend those colors together. And I hope that kind of shows up on the camera. It is so pretty in person. Okay, so that's it with our little cattails. So we have 2 Granny Apple Greens and 2 Pretty Peacocks. Okay, so that's it. So let's move on to our little lily pad and our flower, because these are super easy as well. So for our flower, I'm just gonna take that same light Pretty in Pink. I'm just gonna color the center there. I'm going to come back in with my color lifter and just go along the outside there. That is just going to blend that color on the outside just a little bit, and it's just going to kind of color it in a little bit, not too much. Okay, now for our little lily pad, I have dark soft seafoam. That's what this is, that cardstock is. So we're just doing tone on tone here, and I'm just going to kind of color the bottom of this with my dark, and then again come in with your color lifter, and I'm just going to go over that edge. And all that does is just softens the edge so that it's not a harsh marker line. That color lifter is just going to soften it enough. And so this is just going to give it just enough differentiation in color that it's going to just kind of stand out in person. Okay, so I'm going to put the Pretty in Pink and the soft seafoam away. And let's move on to our little baby duck. So we have a little bit of surgery that we have to do on the baby duck, but actually let's do some coloring first. So the baby duck comes, the little die for the baby duck is this piece right here. So you get like the top and the bottom of the duck. Now you can cut those in 2 different colors. I cut both of mine in Peach Pie. So I'm going to take the dark Peach Pie, and I am going to, just like we did with the lily pad, I'm just going to kind of color the bottom half of this piece. This is the outline piece, so it's the piece with the little holes in it. And then again, we'll come in with the color lifter, and just where the edge of that, the top edge of that, we're just going to color that just to soften that edge. And that is it for our little baby. Now I have also die cut this in Lemon Lolly, or is this Daffodil Delight? I'm not sure. But we're going to cut the beak off because I wanted the beaks to be yellow. So I'm just going to cut the little beak off. Now this part gets a little bit kind of fussy, and you might be like, nope, I'm not going to do that. And that's totally fine. If you don't want to do this part, that's okay, because I know that it gets a little bit fussy. So I'm just going to put a tiny drop of glue on his beak, and I am just going to lay the beak down. I like liquid glue for this because, as you can see, the beak is not on there all the way, but with the liquid glue, I can really maneuver it and get it on so that it fits perfectly. Just like that. Okay. Okay. Now, before we glue the top part of our duck on, I wanted them for their eyes to stand up, the little black eyes. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Up marker. This is different than our Stampin' Blend marker. This is a finer point. You're going to get a, it's not going to bleed. If you were to use a black Stampin' Blend marker, it's just going to bleed. This one is not going to do that. So I'm just going to draw on the solid one, the one that we put the beak on. I'm just going to draw like a random little black dot on that. And then we will glue on, we'll use our liquid glue. You can die cut these on adhesive sheets if you want to, but you don't get that wiggle room with the adhesive sheets. So a little bit of liquid glue, and we're just going to glue this together. I just kind of like to hold it between my thumb and my finger, and that just really makes sure that we can kind of twist and maneuver in place. And then he has a little black eye. Not in the bad way. He wasn't in a fight. His eye is just black now. Okay, so that's our little baby duck. And the mom duck we're going to do pretty similarly. So the mom duck, so you have this piece for the mom, and then you have this piece which will cut out the beak and the wing. So I cut the wing out of peach pie, just like the base of the duck, and then for the little mom I have lemon lolly, and again we're just going to put the beak on. And I'm going to stick the little beak on. Again, I know this can be a little fussy. Grab your take your pick tool to do this if you don't want to kind of maneuver this around. Oops. My little beak came right off because I have sticky fingers, so grab your take your pick tool. I'm making this look a lot harder than it is, guys. I made a ton of little ducks the other day and I had 0 problems with them. So it's the pressure of the camera that's making this look hard. All right, we have that on. We're going to go in and just do a little bit of coloring on it as well. So dark peach pie again. And again, we're just going to kind of go halfway up. You don't have to be super neat with this. We're going to be a little bit messy with this. We'll come in with our color lifter and just kind of blend out those edges. Just like that. That's just going to add all of that depth and dimension to our duck. Now we're going to do the same thing with the wing. I'm going to do the bottom of the wing, peach pie, tone on tone, and then we will just blend out the top of the wing with that color lifter. The color lifter is a fantastic tool. If you use Stampin' Blends, you need the color lifter because that really is such a fantastic little tool. All right, now for her, because she doesn't have anything to back, but she does have that little eye. What I'm going to do, and I forgot to grab this out, I'm just going to grab a tiny scrap of black. Hold, please. So I'm just going to grab a little tiny scrap of black, just a tiny little square. I'm going to put some glue on the back of her, behind her eye. And we'll just stick it on that square. Now, if anything hangs off, I'm not going to worry about that because we're going to trim it off. But then she has that nice solid black eye as well. All right, let me just cut that off. Perfect. Okay. And we're going to pop up her wing on a dimensional. And I'm just going to use a little edge piece here. You can use a little mini dimensional if you want. We're going to put that on a dimensional and pop that up. Okay. Now that concludes all of our like little pieces. So this just goes on just like that. Adorable, right? Okay, so that includes all of those little pieces. I'm going to zoom back out a little bit. Okay. Now we need to work on this little arch piece that's going to go on. So let me move this out of the way. So I have the Everyday Arches dies, and I am using, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th largest. Now, by itself, the 5th largest is too tall. It was going to be too tall for the box, and I didn't like that. I didn't like it taking up so much room, so I tried to use a smaller one, but the smaller ones were too skinny, and I didn't like that either. So I said, well, you know what, we're just going to make our own size then, and that'll work. So we're going to do some partial die cutting. So I'm going to grab out my cut and emboss machine. I'm using my mini one, but you can use your big one. This will work on the big one. Move about a little more. There we go. Oh, I need to reach my plates. I buried my plates over here. Okay. So here's my plates. And so what we're going to do, we're going to start by just cutting like the top half. So I'm going to put this down as you normally would. And then this top plate, I'm going to just kind of put on a little bit more than halfway, like that. So the plate is ending right here, so anything beyond the plate will not cut. It's only going to cut where the plate is, where that sandwich is complete. So I'm going to run this through. Okay. So we're going to die cut this again. So I'm going to put that back. Now this time I'm going to I'm going to shorten it. Now the arches dies are great because there's little dots, there's little pierced edges, and so those will kind of notch right in. So you just kind of want to figure out how tall do you want it, maybe a little bit slightly bigger like that. So yeah, I think that's good. So once I get it in place, I'm just going to kind of notch that in, and I'm going to grab some washi tape. Use Post-it tape, whatever you want to just hold it together. So once I get those little notches fit in, those grooves, I'm just going to put some washi tape on here to hold that down. Okay, this time we're going to run it through the other way, this way, and we only need to go again about halfway through. So I'm going to run this through like this, and let me move my machine out of the way. Move this off to the side. And once we remove the die, we'll remove the tape carefully. We don't want to tear our little arch. We remove the die. You can see we have a shorter die, a shorter arch piece. Oh my gosh, you guys, all the problems are coming out today. There we go. Okay, so one die, we made a shorter die, a shorter little arch. Okay, so just some partial die cutting. We just cut maybe like ½ inch off that. Okay, so that is partial die cutting. Not hard. You can absolutely do that. Hope you find that tip helpful. Okay, now before we start assembling our box, or the elements for our box, we're going to add some ink blending to this piece here. So I'm just going to use a blending brush and my Pool Party ink, and this is just going to give it that illusion that they're kind of in the water. So I'm going to start from the bottom because I want the bottom to be darker, and I'm just going to ink blend up. Now you can always take color away, but you can't, or you can always add color, but you can't take it away. So go lighter, and you can always keep adding color, just keep going over it. So once I get the bottom about as dark as I want it to be, I'm going to just kind of move up the sides a little bit. I don't want to add a lot of color to the top, but I just want to add just a little shading around the top, and that might not even show up on the camera. But so we have most of our color on the bottom, and then I just went around the top just a little bit. All right, so we're moving along. Let's stamp our greeting. So the greeting is from that same Charming Duck Pond stamp set. This is Have a Lovely Day. We're going to stamp this in Pretty Peacock. That's going to bring out the DSP colors. And we're just going to stamp that on top. Have a lovely day. Now, if you're doing this for, an Easter basket or something, you can stamp Happy Easter or Spring Wishes, whatever. Look through your stamp set, see what you have. All right, and we have all of our pieces. We are ready. So let's bring in all of those die cut pieces, and we are ready to go. Okay. So I'm going to start with my arch. Now we're going to put a lot of this on with dimensionals because, guys, this isn't going to go in the mailbox. So we can use as many dimensionals as we want. Oops. Don't put them too high on the arch because the top of the arch is going to hang over just a little bit. And oh my gosh, now the dimensionals are fighting me. All right, this is going to go right onto the front of our box, off to the left a little bit. Just like that. All right, I'm going to stick my mom duck on first. Now, she doesn't look too pretty from the back, but from the front, she is completely adorable. So I'm going to stick her on, not all the way to the bottom and not all the way to the edge. We're going to leave some room for our other little pieces there. And we'll go to the lily pad. So I'm going to do this. Where's my scissors? I'm going to do some edge pieces for the smaller pieces. Let me cut some of those. So we're going to do this kind of double lily pad here. And I'm just going to put a dimensional kind of right in the middle. And the shading I have going to the bottom, oh my goodness, you guys, the dimensionals are against me. So the shading I have going kind of along the bottom, and we want to put these on before we put the little baby ducks on, because it's going to help us kind of guide where we put the baby ducks. All right, now this other little lily pad, this one's going to go over here by mom. All right, now our little flowers, I'm going to stick one flat down over here, just like this in the back. And then the other ones we will pop up, and I'm just going to use liquid glue for these. So I'm going to put one over here. And I'm going to put one over here. All right, now we're going to move on to the cattails. All right, so I'm going to put one of the full Granny Apple green ones, and I'm only going to put glue kind of on the bottom parts of these stems. I'm not going to go all the way to the top. That's going to glue kind of right down, just kind of tuck it in behind those lily pads. Those are on dimensional, so you can really tuck them in. And on the back of this one, we're going to do a Pretty Peacock one. Just again, just on the bottom. We're going to tuck that behind Mom. We're going to tuck that behind that lily pad, just like that. All right, now we're going to go in and I am going to kind of trim. Actually, this one I'm going to lay flat. I'm going to do the whole one of the granny apple green one. We're going to just kind of layer these up over here. That's going to give us all this amazing dimension. Okay, but this pretty peacock one, I'm going to trim this a little bit. I don't want the whole thing. So I'm going to kind of, how do I want to trim this? I'm just going to cut off these two. So I'm going to keep these. I'm going to cut these two off. Now you can put those somewhere else on your project, or you can save it and use it somewhere else. Now, if you love this design, but you don't want to make a box, you can absolutely do all of these same elements right on top of a card. Okay, so there we go. So cute, right? Okay. Now we just have our little baby ducks left, and I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of all of them. So I'm just going to use the little edge pieces, or you can cut dimensionals in half. Oh my goodness, the dimensionals, you guys. Why are they fighting me? They know we're on video. Okay, last one. Last little dimensional. We are near the end of this one, this project, guys, I promise. Okay, so all of our little babies are sticky, and we are going to stick these on. So this one's going to kind of go right between those little lily pads there, and then these two are just going to follow behind, just like this. So cute, right? Oh my gosh, I love these little ducks. They are my favorite. Okay, finishing touches. I have a bow that I've already tied with our peach pie ribbon. We're going to stick that on. So I'm just going to grab a glue dot, pull that off with the glue dot, and that's just going to kind of go back here, like right under the little lily pad there, just like that. So cute. Right now you can trim the edges if they're too long. You can do that. All right, and now super finishing touches. I'm going to use these dappled dots. These actually come in the suite with the ducks, and we actually use the whole suite. The suite is the bundle, the DSP, and now the little dapple dots. So if you love this one, just go ahead and put that whole suite onto your next order if you love everything on it. Now typically some of our DSP does retire, so I wouldn't be surprised if this DSP retired. I really hope that the bundle sticks around, but the DSP might retire. So again, add these to your orders. I'm going to do 5 little dots because I love these little dapple dots a lot. All right, and then one more. I had one over here by the ribbon, but I think it's going to be hidden, so I'll just put one more here. All right, so that completes our sweet little box. Again, you can put whatever you want. Lots of different Easter treats in there. Clean up just a little bit. Inside mine, we have these little springtime cookies, little duck cookies, little duck and chick cookies. So that is our sweet little box. You do not need glue to put this together. You do not need to trim anything to put this together. It is so cute and just self-closes itself right up. Okay, guys, thanks for sticking with me. Thanks, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. Next week, I have a true Easter one. It says Easter, so next week for our Easter box, we are making this one. So cute, and I can't wait to show you what's inside. You'll love it. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Remember, if you're on Facebook, go ahead and hit that share button and share this with all of your friends. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel. That way you never, ever miss a video. This week on my blog, I'm starting a new class to go featuring the Peekaboo Forest Bundle, and the cards this week are so adorable. So if you're shopping this week, make sure you're using that host code. All orders over $50 are going to get that Peekaboo Bundle class to go for free through the end of the month, through March 31st. So make sure that you are shopping my online store this month and using that host code to get that class to go. All the details will be on my blog tomorrow, but thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.